Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something deeply personal, something that I have learned through my own journey finding your inner peace. Peace is not just the absence of chaos, it is the presence of a deep, calm understanding that no matter what happens outside of you, what matters most is what resides within you. The world can be loud, people can be harsh, the circumstances around us can often be overwhelming. But let me tell you one thing I've learned: no external situation or external person can take away the peace you create within yourself unless you allow them to. I stand here today not because life has been perfect or smooth. In fact, life is a series of hurdles, challenges, and unexpected turns. But I stand here with a heart full of gratitude because I learned that peace is something you find in the toughest of times. It's not something that is handed to you on a silver platter, it's something you have to dig deep for. It's something that requires understanding, patience, and love. It's about accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. I know that the world can sometimes make you feel like you're not enough. It tells you that you have to be someone else, that you need to look a certain way or do things a certain way to fit in. But I want to remind you, true peace lies in authenticity. In knowing who you are, embracing your scars, and knowing that every single part of you, even the broken pieces, have a purpose. It's easy to get distracted by external pressures. We seek approval from others, chase after fleeting moments of success, and search for happiness in material things. But happiness isn't a destination, it's a journey. And along this journey, peace is the quiet companion that stays with you even when everything else seems to crumble. To find your inner peace, you must first make peace with your past. You must forgive not only others, but also yourself. We all have made mistakes. We all have things we regret. But holding on to guilt or anger only chains us to those moments. Let go. It's time to release what doesn't serve you. The second step is to practice gratitude. The more you recognize the blessings around you, the less room there is for negativity. In every moment, there is something to be thankful for. And the more you appreciate those things, the more peace will begin to fill your heart. Lastly, find solace in stillness. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of the world, but true peace comes from within. It's in the quiet moments where you reflect, breathe, and let your soul rest. Whether it's through meditation, a walk in nature, or simply sitting in silence, find those moments. Your mind meets them. You see, peace isn't something that can be bought or earned through achievements. It's already within you, waiting for you to discover it. And it's never too late to start the journey. So I urge you today, find your inner peace. It's not a far-off dream. It's within you. All you need to do is embrace it. Peace is internal, not external. This statement is simple but carries a profound truth that many of us spend a lifetime discovering. We are often led to believe that peace is something that we can achieve by controlling our environment, adjusting our circumstances, or seeking approval from others. Society tells us that once we have the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect home, or the perfect body, we will feel at peace. But what we fail to realize is that peace does not reside in any of these external achievements. Peace, true peace, is something that must be cultivated from within, irrespective of the chaos and noise that surrounds us. If we look at the world around us, it becomes clear that peace is not something readily available to us in our external circumstances. The world is constantly changing, often in unpredictable and uncontrollable ways. Political unrest, economic crises, personal loss, and everyday challenges can make us feel like peace is a faraway dream. We can try to control the external factors that affect us, but no matter how much we try, we cannot stop the world from changing or shifting. In fact, most of the time, the more we try to change things outside of ourselves, the more we end up feeling overwhelmed, anxious, or dissatisfied. This is because the external world is always fluctuating, and trying to find peace by controlling it is a futile endeavor. The key to finding true peace, then, lies in our ability to look inward. When we talk about peace being internal, we are referring to a state of being that transcends the circumstances around us. Inner peace is not the absence of problems or challenges, but rather the ability to remain grounded and centered even in the midst of them. It is the ability to face life's inevitable ups and downs with a sense of calm and resilience. Achieving this state requires us to accept that we cannot control everything that happens outside of ourselves. We cannot control the weather, the behavior of others, or the course of events in the world. What we can control, however, is how we respond to these external influences. We can choose to react with anger, fear, or frustration, or we can choose to approach life with a sense of acceptance, compassion, and understanding. The journey toward inner peace begins with the understanding that our thoughts and emotions play a significant role in shaping our experience of the world. The mind is a powerful tool, and it has the ability to either create peace or stir up turmoil. Most of the time, our minds are filled with endless streams of thoughts about the past, the future, about what could have been or what might be. These thoughts are often fueled by fear, worry, and doubt, and they can prevent us from fully experiencing the present moment. When we allow our thoughts to run unchecked, we may find ourselves constantly overwhelmed, anxious, and disconnected from our true sense of peace. To find inner peace, we must learn to quiet the mind. This does not mean suppressing or denying our thoughts, but rather developing the ability to observe them without becoming attached to them. When we observe our thoughts, we can see them for what they are: fleeting, temporary, and not always accurate reflections of reality. By practicing mindfulness meditation or simply being more aware of our thoughts, we can begin to create space between ourselves and the constant chatter of the mind. This space is where peace resides. When we learn to separate ourselves from our thoughts and emotions, we can begin to experience a deeper sense of stillness and calm. Another aspect of internal peace is the ability to cultivate a positive and compassionate relationship with ourselves. So much of the stress and anxiety we experience comes from the way we treat ourselves. We often hold ourselves to impossibly high standards, judge ourselves harshly for our perceived flaws, and compare ourselves to others. These patterns of self-criticism and judgment prevent us from experiencing the peace that is already within us. In order to find inner peace, we must first learn to be kind and loving toward ourselves. This means letting go of the need for perfection and embracing our humanity. We are all imperfect, and that is okay. Our imperfections are what make us unique, and they are part of what makes us whole. When we accept ourselves, flaws and all, we create the conditions for peace to flourish. At the core of internal peace is the ability to accept the present moment as it is, without resistance. Much of our stress and frustration arises from our constant striving for something else, something better, something more. We often find ourselves looking to the future, hoping that one day things will be different, better, or more fulfilling. But in doing so, we miss out on the beauty and peace that is available to us in the present moment. When we are constantly chasing after the future or dwelling on the past, we fail to appreciate the present for what it is. The present moment is all we truly have. It is where life unfolds, where we breathe, where we exist. By learning to fully accept the present moment without wishing it away or resisting it, we create the space for peace to arise. This acceptance of the present moment does not mean that we have to passively accept everything that happens to us. It does not mean that we should stop striving for change or improvement. Instead, it means that we can approach life with a sense of surrender, recognizing that we cannot control everything, but that we can control how we respond to what happens. When we let go of our attachment to specific outcomes and simply allow life to unfold as it will, we free ourselves from the grip of anxiety and stress. We open ourselves to the flow of life, and in doing so, we create the conditions for peace to naturally emerge. It is important to remember that peace is not a destination but a practice. It is something that we must continually cultivate. There will be times when external circumstances try to steal our peace, times when we face loss, disappointment, or conflict. But if we have developed the inner tools to respond with calmness, acceptance, and compassion, we can weather these storms without losing our sense of peace. It is in these moments when life feels chaotic and uncertain that we are called to return to the inner peace that resides within us. And by doing so, we not only find peace for ourselves, but also become beacons of peace for others. In the end, peace is not something that we can find in the external world. It is not something that can be attained through possessions, achievements, or approval from others. True peace lies within us, waiting to be discovered and nurtured. It is something that we must choose to cultivate every day, regardless of what is happening around us. And when we do, we create a life that is grounded in calmness, resilience, and acceptance, a life where peace is not just a fleeting feeling, but a constant presence that carries us through all of life's challenges. Embrace your authenticity. This phrase holds a deep and transformative power, one that many of us overlook in our search for external validation. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with expectations, comparisons, and standards set by others, it is easy to forget the importance of being true to who we are. We tend to mold ourselves into the image of what society, our families, or our peers want us to be, rather than embracing our unique essence. But the truth is that authenticity is the key to finding peace, happiness, and fulfillment in life. Being authentic means showing up as your true self, without pretenses, without the need to conform to the expectations of others. It means understanding who you are at your core, your values, your passions, your strengths, and your weaknesses, and allowing that version of yourself to shine through in all that you do. It is about aligning your actions with your inner truth and living in a way that is congruent with your beliefs and desires, rather than living in a way that seeks to please others or meet external expectations. When we try to be someone we are not, we create inner conflict. We live in a state of constant tension between our true selves and the version of ourselves that we feel we are supposed to be. This tension drains our energy, creates anxiety, and prevents us from experiencing peace. We may put on a facade pretending to be someone we are not, but deep down we feel disconnected from our own truth. The more we stray from our authentic selves, the more we feel lost, disconnected, and unfulfilled. On the other hand, when we embrace our authenticity, we align ourselves with our true purpose. We stop wasting energy trying to meet others' expectations and instead focus on what truly matters to us. Authenticity allows us to experience a deep sense of self-acceptance, knowing that we do not need to change who we are to fit in or be loved. We begin to let go of the need for external approval, understanding that our worth does not depend on the opinions of others. Instead, we find validation from within as we learn to appreciate ourselves for exactly who we are. Embracing authenticity also means accepting our flaws and imperfections. We live in a culture that often values perfection, but perfection is an illusion. No one is perfect, and the pressure to be flawless can lead to feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. When we embrace our imperfections, we free ourselves from the need to be perfect. We allow ourselves to be human, to make mistakes, to learn, and to grow. Authenticity is about embracing all aspects of ourselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and knowing that these parts are what make us whole. This acceptance of ourselves, imperfections included, is liberating. It allows us to be kinder to ourselves and to others. When we stop holding ourselves to impossible standards, we can finally experience the freedom of being who we are without fear of judgment. We no longer feel the need to hide parts of ourselves or put on a mask to fit in. We can simply be, and in that being, we experience a deep sense of peace. Living authentically also means honoring our desires and passions. Often we suppress our true desires because we fear they are too unconventional, too different, or too risky. We may choose paths that are safe or expected, even if they do not align with our inner calling. But when we live authentically, we allow ourselves to pursue what truly excites and motivates us. We are not bound by the limitations that others place on us. We create our own path, guided by our heart's desires. This may require courage, as the road less traveled is often uncertain and challenging, but it is the only path that leads to true fulfillment. When we follow our passions, we tap into a sense of purpose that gives our lives meaning. Another important aspect of embracing authenticity is learning to trust ourselves. We are often conditioned to doubt our intuition and second-guess our decisions, especially when others around us offer their opinions or advice. But when we embrace our authenticity, we learn to trust our inner voice. We stop seeking validation from others and instead listen to the wisdom that lies within us. This trust in ourselves strengthens our confidence and helps us make decisions that are aligned with our truth rather than decisions that are driven by fear or the desire to please others. Authenticity also plays a key role in our relationships. When we are true to ourselves, we attract people who resonate with our true essence. We stop pretending to be someone we are not in order to gain approval, and instead we allow ourselves to form connections based on mutual understanding and genuine compatibility. Authentic relationships are built on honesty, trust, and vulnerability. And when we are authentic with others, we create the space for them to be authentic with us. This leads to deeper, more meaningful connections where both parties feel seen, heard, and valued for who they truly are. While embracing our authenticity is essential for personal growth and for fulfillment, it is not always easy. Society often encourages conformity and creates pressures to fit in or follow the crowd. We may fear judgment or rejection if we step outside of the norm or challenge societal expectations. But the more we learn to embrace our true selves, the more we realize that authenticity is not a path to rejection, but rather a path to self-acceptance and peace. As we embrace our authenticity, we also cultivate compassion for others. When we accept ourselves for who we are more likely to accept others in the same way. We begin to see that everyone has their own unique journey, their own struggles, and their own story. Rather than judging others for their differences, we begin to honor and appreciate the diversity of human experience. We no longer feel the need to compete or compare ourselves to others because we are content with who we are and the path we are on. In conclusion, embracing our authenticity is not just about being true to ourselves, it is about living a life that is aligned with our deepest values, desires, and truths. It is about showing up as who we truly are without pretending to be someone else. When we embrace our authenticity, we experience a profound sense of peace, freedom, and fulfillment. We stop living for others and start living for ourselves, knowing that we are enough just as we are. Authenticity is the key to living a life of purpose, joy, and inner peace. Let go of the past. These words may seem simple, but they carry the weight of a life-changing truth that many of us struggle to grasp. We often carry the baggage of our past with us, dragging it along like an anchor that keeps us from moving forward. The experiences we've had, whether good or bad, shape the way we view the world, ourselves, and others. Our past can be a beautiful source of wisdom, but it can also become a source of pain, regret, and fear. In order to find true peace and healing, we must learn to let go of the past and stop allowing it to dictate our present and future. When we hold on to the past, we are not truly living in the present. Our minds are constantly revisiting old memories, reliving old wounds, and replaying past mistakes. These memories can hold us captive, preventing us from fully engaging with the life we are living now. We may find ourselves constantly wishing things had turned out differently or replaying the what-ifs in our heads. This mental fixation on the past keeps us from moving forward, and it keeps us stuck in a cycle of regret, resentment, or sadness. When we let go of the past, we free ourselves from the shackles that bind us to it. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go of the past is the idea of forgiveness. Often we hold on to past hurt and pain because we believe that forgiving someone or ourselves means condoning what was done. We think that if we forgive, we are letting the person who wronged us off the hook or accepting the wrong that was done to us. But forgiveness is not about excusing the behavior or forgetting the pain. It is about freeing ourselves from the hold that the past has over us. When we forgive, we release ourselves from the emotional burden of anger, resentment, or bitterness. We stop allowing the person or the event to control our emotions and our thoughts. Forgiveness is an act of self-liberation. It is a way to reclaim our peace. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to forget what happened or that we have to continue to engage with the person who hurt us. It simply means that we choose to no longer allow the past to dictate our present experience. It means we stop letting the past control our emotions and we make the conscious decision to move forward with our lives. By letting go of the weight of old grudges and resentments, we make space for healing, for new experiences, and for growth. Another important part of letting go of the past is releasing the expectations we have about how things should have been. We often hold on to the belief that life should have gone a certain way, or that certain things should have turned out differently. These expectations can create a sense of dissatisfaction with the present, because we are constantly comparing our current reality to an idealized version of the past. This kind of thinking keeps us stuck in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. In reality, the past is gone, and it cannot be changed. The only thing we can control is how we respond to it. By letting go of the belief that things should have been different, we free ourselves from the burden of regret. Letting go of the past also involves accepting that some things are beyond our control. There are moments in our lives when we experience loss, rejection, failure, or pain that we did not expect or deserve. It is easy to hold on to these experiences, to keep asking ourselves why they happened, or to feel as though we were somehow wronged. But the truth is that there are many things in life that we simply cannot control. People's actions, the choices others make, and the course of events are beyond our influence. We cannot change what has already happened, no matter how much we wish we could. What we can change is how we respond to it. By letting go of our need to understand or control the past, we can create peace within ourselves. The process of letting go is not always easy, and it is not something that happens overnight. It requires a willingness to confront our emotions, to acknowledge the pain and hurt that we have experienced, and to give ourselves permission to heal. Letting go is a process of release, of surrender, of accepting that we cannot change what has happened, but that we can choose how we move forward. It is about finding peace in the present moment, even if the past still lingers in our hearts. One of the most powerful ways to let go of the past is to practice self-compassion. Often we hold on to past mistakes because we are too hard on ourselves. We may blame ourselves for things that were beyond our control, or we may punish ourselves for choices that did not lead to the outcomes we wanted. But in order to let go, we must be gentle with ourselves. We must recognize that we are all human and we are all learning and growing. We all make mistakes and we all face challenges. Self-compassion allows us to embrace our imperfections and forgive ourselves for the things we cannot change. By showing ourselves kindness and understanding, we create the space for healing to occur. Practice gratitude. This simple yet powerful practice can transform our lives in profound ways. Gratitude is not just a fleeting feeling or a polite gesture. It is a mindset that, when nurtured, has the ability to shift our perspective, uplift our spirits, and create a sense of peace within us. We live in a world that often emphasizes what we lack or what is wrong, where our attention is drawn to what we don't have or what we are striving to achieve. This constant focus on the negative can leave us feeling drained, dissatisfied, and disconnected. But when we choose to practice gratitude, we begin to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have, and in doing so, we create an abundance of peace, joy, and contentment in our lives. At its core, gratitude is about recognizing the blessings in our lives, no matter how big or small. It is about acknowledging the things that bring us joy, that make our lives richer, that offer us comfort and support. In our busy and often chaotic lives, it's easy to overlook the simple blessings that surround us. We may take for granted the beauty of a sunrise, the love of family and friends, the warmth of a cup of tea, or the peace of a quiet moment. But when we pause and bring our attention to these things, we realize that we are surrounded by an abundance of gifts, even in the midst of challenges and difficulties. Gratitude is a practice that requires intention. It is not something that happens automatically, especially in a world that often emphasizes what is wrong or what needs to be fixed. The key to practicing gratitude is to be intentional about noticing and appreciating the positive aspects of our lives. This might mean taking a moment each day to reflect on what we are thankful for, writing it down in a journal, or simply pausing throughout the day to acknowledge the things that bring us joy and comfort. By making gratitude a regular practice, we train our minds to focus on the good, even when things aren't perfect. One of the most powerful effects of practicing gratitude is the shift it creates in our mindset. When we make a habit of focusing on the positive aspects of our lives, we begin to see the world differently. Instead of focusing on what is lacking or what is wrong, we begin to notice the abundance and beauty that already exists. This shift in perspective allows us to feel more connected to the present moment and more at peace with ourselves and our circumstances. It helps us to see the silver linings even in difficult times and to find reasons to be grateful, even when life is challenging. Gratitude also has a profound impact on our emotional well-being. Studies have shown that regularly practicing gratitude can improve mental health by reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. When we focus on what we are grateful for, we activate the part of our brain that is associated with positive emotions, which can help to counteract negative thoughts and feelings. Gratitude also helps to cultivate a sense of self-worth as we begin to recognize the good things we have in our lives, both within ourselves and in our external world. By acknowledging the blessings we have, we are reminded that we are worthy of love, kindness, and happiness. The practice of gratitude also deepens our relationships with others. When we express our gratitude to the people around us, we strengthen our connections and foster a sense of appreciation and mutual respect. Taking the time to thank someone for their kindness, their support, or their presence in our lives not only brightens their day, but also reinforces the positive dynamics in the relationship. Gratitude encourages us to be more present and mindful in our interactions, making us more attuned to the needs and feelings of others. It helps us to recognize the value of the people in our lives and to express our appreciation for them in meaningful ways. Furthermore, gratitude has the power to enhance our overall well-being and sense of fulfillment. It is easy to get caught up in the pursuit of more success, more possessions, more recognition, believing that these things will bring us happiness. But the truth is that true contentment doesn't come from external achievements or acquisitions. It comes from within, and it is nurtured through the practice of gratitude. When we focus on what we already have, rather than constantly seeking more, we create a sense of abundance that brings us greater joy and satisfaction. We realize that we don't need to wait for some future moment or achievement to feel fulfilled. We can find peace and contentment in the present by appreciating what we already have. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its ability to cultivate resilience. Life is filled with challenges and obstacles, and it's easy to become discouraged or overwhelmed when things aren't going as we hoped. However, when we practice gratitude, we learn to find the strength and courage to keep going, even in difficult times. Gratitude helps us to see that even in the midst of adversity, there is always something to be thankful for. It may be the love of a friend, the support of a family member, the beauty of nature, or the lessons we learn from our struggles. Gratitude allows us to reframe our difficulties, helping us to approach them with a sense of hope and perspective. It reminds us that even in the darkest moments, there is always light to be found. Gratitude also has a ripple effect. When we practice gratitude in our own lives, it has the power to inspire others to do the same. When we express our gratitude to others, whether through words or actions, we encourage them to reflect on their own blessings and to cultivate a sense of appreciation in their own lives. This creates a positive feedback loop where gratitude spreads and grows, creating a more loving, connected, and peaceful world. It reminds us that we are all interconnected, and by practicing gratitude, we contribute to the collective well-being of humanity. In addition to its emotional and relational benefits, gratitude also has physical benefits. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can improve physical health by boosting the immune system, improving sleep quality, and reducing stress. When we focus on positive emotions and experiences, our bodies respond by releasing chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which promote feelings of well-being and reduce the effects of stress. Gratitude helps us to relax, to release tension, and to cultivate a sense of balance and harmony within ourselves. In essence, practicing gratitude is a simple yet powerful way to create a life filled with peace, joy, and fulfillment. It is a practice that allows us to focus on the abundance already present in our lives, to cultivate a sense of appreciation for the people, experiences, and blessings we have. Gratitude shifts our mindset, enhances our relationships, and strengthens our emotional resilience. It helps us to find peace within ourselves and to create a more positive and connected world. The more we practice gratitude, the more we begin to realize that peace is not something we have to chase after. It is something that is already within us, waiting to be acknowledged and nurtured. Trust the process. These 3 words encapsulate an essential mindset for finding peace and navigating life's journey. In a world that often seeks instant results, immediate solutions, and quick fixes, trusting the process can feel like an act of surrender. We are conditioned to believe that we must have everything figured out, that we need to have a clear path and a precise roadmap to success. But life is rarely that linear. It's often messy, unpredictable, and full of twists and turns. Trusting the process means accepting that uncertainty and imperfection are a natural part of life's unfolding and that everything, even the struggles, is contributing to our growth and development. When we trust the process, we let go of the need to control every aspect of our journey. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't go according to plan. We may have a vision for how our lives should unfold, and when obstacles arise or things take longer than we expected, we may begin to feel discouraged. We may question our decisions, doubt our abilities, or wonder if we're on the right path at all. However, trusting the process means acknowledging that setbacks and delays are not failures, they are simply part of the process of becoming who we are meant to be. Sometimes the most valuable lessons come from the detours, the challenges, and the moments of uncertainty. Trusting the process requires patience. In a society that values speed and efficiency, we can easily become impatient with the natural pace of life. We may feel that we should be further along, that we should have achieved more by this point, or that things should be moving faster. But patience is a key component of trusting the process. It's about understanding that progress is not always linear, and that growth often happens in ways that are not immediately visible. There are times when we may feel stuck, unsure, or uncertain, but that does not mean we are not moving forward. Sometimes the most significant transformations occur in the moments when it feels like nothing is happening at all. Trusting the process means having faith that everything is unfolding as it should, even if we can't see the entire picture yet. Another important aspect of trusting the process is the ability to embrace uncertainty. It's natural to want certainty, to want to know exactly how things will turn out and when they will happen. But life doesn't work that way. There are no guarantees, and the future is always uncertain. However, it is in the space of uncertainty that we often find the greatest opportunities for growth. When we embrace the unknown, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new experiences, and new ways of thinking. Trusting the process means being willing to step into the unknown without needing to have all the answers. It means taking risks, trying new things, and being open to the unfolding of life without trying to control it. Trusting the process also involves cultivating resilience. The road to our goals is rarely smooth, and obstacles will inevitably arise. However, when we trust the process, we learn to see challenges as opportunities rather than setbacks. Every difficulty is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger. Resilience is not about avoiding adversity, it's about facing it with grace, patience, and a belief that we can overcome it. Trusting the process helps us to build resilience because we begin to understand that setbacks are temporary and that each challenge is a stepping stone on the path to our ultimate destination. When we trust that the process is working for us, even when things aren't going as planned, we build the mental and emotional strength to keep going, no matter what. An essential part of trusting the process is the willingness to let go of perfectionism. We often set unrealistic expectations for ourselves, believing that we must achieve everything perfectly and flawlessly. This can lead to frustration, self-criticism, and a sense of inadequacy. However, trusting the process means letting go of the need to have everything be perfect and accepting that mistakes, missteps, and imperfections are part of the journey. Life is not about achieving perfection, it's about progress, growth, and learning along the way. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we give ourselves permission to embrace the process with all its ups and downs, knowing that each step is valuable and important. Trusting the process also requires us to let go of comparisons. In a world driven by social media and the constant sharing of success stories, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing our journey to others. We may look at someone else's accomplishments and feel that we are falling behind or not achieving enough. But trust the process means understanding that everyone's path is different. Just because someone else is at a certain point in their journey doesn't mean that we should be too. Everyone has their own timeline, their own struggles, and their own growth to experience. When we trust the process, we let go of the need to compare ourselves to others and focus on our own journey.